What is the return on investment in hotel staff training and retention programs? This is hoteliers' first question when considering new training strategies, and in reality, is not an easy question to answer.
Over the past years, I have seen a big transformation, Mauricio, in how hotels, restaurants, cruise lines perceive training. Nowadays, it's truly a strategic investment. Training, it is not just only about teaching procedures. It is about showing people that they matter. And I believe that's nowadays is a key factor to be successful in our industry.
What's up, hospitality? Mauricio Schuler here, and you're listening to the Schulering Hub Talking Hospitality podcast. Joining me today is Yamel Henriksen, representing the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute, founded in 1953 as the educational arm of the American Hotel and Lodging Association. Is the global leader in hospitality training and professional certification. They've earned a reputation by setting industry-recognized standards for decades, provided essential resources and trusted credentials that build successful careers from the front line to the executive suite. Welcome, Yamel.
Thank you so much. Really, Mauricio, it's such a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, Mel, you're like, I consider you a good friend, not only an inspiration when it comes to training, education, and hospitality. We've known each other for a few years now. We've met, and it such warms my heart when I see you and I listen to you. So it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for lending a little of your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's amazing. And I think it couldn't be a better topic to talk about, this return on investment and training, because I think it's such an important topic for hoteliers and for anyone who is linked to our hospitality industry.
It's essential. And before we then dive into all the aspects of training, all the aspects of retention, high turnover, and all these words that we speak so much and we study so much about, could you share a little about your journey in hospitality, not only in education, but in hospitality in general, and what brought you to work with AHLEI?
Oh, wow. It's been a long journey, not only because of the age, but it's because, okay, I will just actually start from a place of like a curiosity. I began working in events management while I was still in high school. I was part of a board of a private high schools association in my hometown in Mexico. So when I look back there, I have a big smile because I think when we're young and kind of ignorant in certain way, we're very brave. So when we were at that age and back at the day organizing events for more than 2,000 people without even realizing all the technicalities of risk management, or even how to be involved in certain questions that nowadays you think about it. Yet those early stages and experience, they taught me the powerful that it is when people come together to create meaningful and memorable really moments. So of course, later on, I studied hotel and restaurant management as a bachelor degree first, and continue organizing larger events, conference, congress, concerts as well. It reached actually the point that the dean of my business school, Dr. Roberto Solano at UTLAB, he actually hired me professionally while I was still a student at the university to coordinate all the major conferences at the university and the business school while I was there. And I really truly fell in love with the educational side of hospitality when you were doing events, but at the same time doing it for education. Of course, then I comes my graduation, and then I was very honored to be one of those students that I was hired to move to the United States. I joined the Le Méridien Hotel in Dallas, Texas, That was when I started officially working for a hotel, not for a convention sales estate. I was at the sales department, but then later on, I was joining the human resource management team. And then in time, I became the human resource manager quite young. And life surprised me. Not only professionally, I met my husband there, a pastry chef from Denmark, as you know. So while we both were living in the United States, a few years later, then we moved to Denmark because he was invited to be part of the pre-opening team for the Copenhagen Marriott Hotel. So that was the first property in Denmark from Marriott. And we worked first there, and I was first working at the restaurant. And then later on, I was able to evolve a little bit with the sales and banquets department. Eventually, in time, then we moved and we moved back, from me back to Mexico. And it was where my career in hospitality education kind of truly took off. Actually, one of my great professors, Mari Carmen Morfin, she was the head of the department, and she invited me to join my alma mater. So then I became the coordinator for international alliances for the bachelor degree, but not only for hotel and restaurant management, also for tourism and for culinary arts. So for 9 years, I worked full time in academia as a coordinator, but also I became a professor. And then it was amazing to have the opportunity to join the team where my professors became my actually colleagues. And it was very nice to build this partnership, designing training programs for the students and at the side teaching. So it was amazing all those 9 years working every day, and we evolved in our natural roles in life. And after our daughter was born, things shifted around. I shifted to be I could never stop working because I really needed that part of me to continue the balance. But still, I became a part-time faculty role. I was continuing teaching, but in this case, as I was not having any more exclusivity for the UDLA, then I was able to teach in other universities. And I started teaching in several private universities, working as a professor, but also had the opportunity to create my own consulting company. So I actually became, back in those days, an external trainer and consultant from AHLEI. So who will say, that I became also, the certification hospitality trainer, and that what makes my life amazing because I had the opportunity to start training outside in different opportunities for hotels, but also for professionals in the hospitality industry. So from Brazil all the way to Canada, I was able to be a trainer specifically for guest service. And then life brought us back to Denmark, some security issues and so on. Then we returned to Denmark. And then I crossed my paths with Ed Casley. He is our international VP for sales in HLEI. And then it was it was the first conference that I was able to put together Denmark as the Europe Cree. And then it was this conference in Auburn in 2021. Long story short, eventually he invited me to be part of this group of people that they were interviewing to know who could take over Europe. And I joined HLEI team. Now I can say that today I serve as a regional manager for the Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So my life path was always been a deeply connect with cross-cultural experience, just like yours.
It's incredible. It's incredible because you started from a very young age and just facing the challenges as they were nothing and moving around and doing the whole operational part and you understanding that, growing your career there, then moving into education, growing your career in education, and continue to move until you get to HLI, and be able to manage a whole area, a whole continent.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a business development there, right? So it's impressive what you've done, and it's very inspiring as well.
Thank
You know,
you.
like
And look, You actually forgot to put my pin, but it means so much for us in hospitality to wear our pins, from certifications. And yes, definitely, so I take the advantage now to put my HLEI pin, in my heart because like you say, it's been, I mean, and be working for actually, I would say it doesn't, I don't want it to sound wrong, but this is the most important premier worldwide training, you know, association, non-profit association that is focusing in developing students, professors, instructors, and also professionals. When I was in the private university, Universidad de las Americas, Puebla, in Mexico. I'm talking about, was studying, it was 1999 in 2000. Actually, I used the books from HLEI because we actually was taking education in English. So that was amazing. Then later on, when I also became my resource manager, I have my professional certification from there that I already renew over the years. I have more than 15 years that I'm already certified hospitality. And then later on, when I opened my own company as a professional, independent, then I was able actually to become a trainer for them.
Yeah, and I will back you up there because you inspire me to actually also get in my journey to get certified hospitality trainer. And in the beginning, I was like, should I do that or should I not? And when I listening to you speaking in your knowledge, and so like, all right, like it's not only the certification, it's the knowledge you get, right? So I got in the journey. I haven't got yet my certification. I'm studying. However, what I'm learning, I'm already applying in the business here in Prague, in our businesses, right? So I'm already getting all the orientation day program done. I'm organizing all the training, organizing the trainers, the supervisors, because I will not be training the casino. I will not train the dealers, right? I'm not a dealer. So I'm training them exactly. So I'm training the managers on how to train their dealers, on creating the whole thing as it should be, because the content that I'm learning there is actually super super valuable. And what I wanted to ask you is like, you've been in this journey for such a long time, and how it has evolved the role of training and certifications in the hotels.
Over the past years, I have seen a big transformation, Mauricio, in how hotels, restaurants, cruise lines, they perceive training. In the past, it was just something you did, like if you have kind of extra money, or it was just nice to have. But nowadays, it's truly a strategic investment. It is directly linked to performance. I can also tell you to reputation, retention. So certifications today are not just credentials. They are part of a lifelong learning culture. And that is what it keeps professionals relevant in a world that is changed faster than ever. So that's where I would say that I have seen this resilience and transformation over the years.
To back you up there as well, like the first thing I've done with for example, the casino was to ask people what they feel, what was important for them. And training was one of the top requirements from them. And the management didn't believe that the people in the casino want to go through training. They thought that they were against training. And the data showed otherwise, that people are actually looking for ways to improve themselves. And this is what they were telling about. It's like having the opportunity to improve yourself is a very important asset in the business to keep people engaged in the business.
No, you are absolutely right. Why? Because I will bring the key of the core at the moment as a strategic is the turnover. So turnover nowadays is our biggest challenge in human resources as a company, as a team, and many of the executives, and I'm sorry to say it, but sometimes when you're reaching the C level, especially in the large chains, sometimes I believe that they underestimate the emotional side of training. Some of these team makers, and also they are very strategic. Some of these people see it like it's just a compliance. kind of a checklist activity. But when in reality, training is a form of giving certain pride of belonging. So when employees feel invested in their stay in the company, when you offer them a path, an opportunity, a career building, a life plan along with a career plan, training, it is not just only about teaching procedures. It is about showing people that they matter. And I believe that's nowadays is a key factor to be successful in our industry.
And sometimes when I speak to hoteliers, I have the sense that they don't understand what turnover means. Are you able to explain that in simple terms for them?
Yeah, of course. I mean, turnover is like you have a position that somebody is just working with you, and suddenly that person decides just to leave. Then in that moment, you have to make all the process investment to start hunting, recruiting, interviewing, and finding the right person, not only to do that job, that also will match with the alliance of the company, the alliance of the team that you already built up, that it can be harmonious. And then to start training in the job to learn what it has to be done in that position, what everybody else try to support that person. The investment on having somebody new at work, it is much better to try to compel and to protect your own team when you already have it than to try to get somebody new into a position to take over. So the turnover, I can say economical strategic equation that if we start talking about numbers, the C level sometimes will be very surprising.
Yes, we'll speak about numbers in a little while, but you just mentioned about the misunderstanding, right? Like some hotels, mainly in the corporate side, they miss the emotional side of providing training, and they just actually treat it as a checklist instead of really considering the whole strategy behind it and how it can connect with the employees. You said that it's different though when it comes to the different segments of the hotels. We have independent hotels, they have certain challenges. We have some big brands, we have corporates with the different challenges. Could you outline what are the challenges in each one of the segments so our audience can relate to them?
Sure, of course. I mean, we're speaking with hoteliers, but what I could say is in the way that I see it is I will divide it like in three different segments. Independent hotels that really often struggle with resources, with grants, with capital. You know, they want to train, but they don't know how, where to start. Sometimes they don't even have an HR department because we are playing this like a one-man orchestra, and that's the way it is. Then I would say second segment for me was the hotel chains with in-house, HR department or personal department that actually sometimes had to face kind of bureaucracy into the hotel because they are maybe having in the same department the payroll, the training, the hiring, So then it's all compound. And sometimes lots of systems to fill up, but with little personalization. And then we have the big brands, the big names. What is that? Maybe the 10 largest hotel chains worldwide, that they use sometimes either outsourcing models. They have probably their own academies or their own programs. And of course, risk of the losing human touch because training becomes more transactional because then it's part of what they have to have in order for them to keep up a pipeline of capital personal resources.
Mhm.
So the challenge, Mauricio, for all of them is really to find a balance between structure, but also authenticity. Because keeping training alive, that will also kind of connect with the people and the real life and the work at the same time. This commitment to care, I think that's very important. And nowadays, with the new generations, as you and me, we know, this Generation Z, they're really looking into the future, not only to be compensating for the time that you are doing certain actions or certain work. You also want to have this sense of belonging, this working for something bigger than yourself. And that's why I believe nowadays focusing into the future generations, basing the needs of the industry is relevant to connect with the people, their lives into a real world.
So for the independent owners that see training as a cost rather than an investment, what would you say to convince them otherwise?
Oh God, it's like you say, it's not only that cost. You also have to think about it, about the cost of the people that they are first of all covering that gap. So then we start already with overtime, and that you don't pay 1-to-1. You know, we have this depending on the country, also depending on the legislation, continent, the government, unions, depending, because then if it's a weekend, if it's a holiday, if it's a night shift, then they start piling up. That's what I think it starts there. Second, people also get tired. Then they get more fussy, stressed out. So then we start having other costs that is not going to be only economical and monetary. So then you already drain your own team while you are getting your fees piling up to trying to find the right person. More if we're talking about management, at least just notice it. Then you need to start getting somebody that it will kind of filter it for you. But then when they come also with the right 3-5 last candidates of a big screen, then you need to start using your time in order to filter those persons, not only about how capable they are professionally. I already mentioned it, how they can actually match the hotel, the brand, and the team. So the cost it's very high, and they need to start focusing in learning how to build this culture. It's important. There is simple actions that they can be really have a high impact, Mauricio. So start small, consistent. You have to start really focusing in training your people before they leave. So that's what I believe, and I think we talk about it, is how to build this learning culture, because that will be actually a better investment than to pay to repair a damage. That's how I see it.
No, not only you, it's always cheaper to avoid a mistake than fixing a mistake, right? So, and we can consider that in training as well. It's always cheaper to prepare the people that are already there, that that are committed to the company, than having to lose them and going to a whole new hiring process of finding the right person. And we know that today is very hard to find the right person as well. Not because the people change, but they have different expectations, right? They are expecting some level of training, they're expecting some level of preparation. And if you don't have that already in-house, they will just say, yeah, see you later, I'll find someone that has.
Exactly. But I know you like numbers. So just a recruiting agency fee. In Europe, we are talking about an average, we're going to talk about hard numbers. The salary could be something between 38 to 45,000 euros when we're talking about front desk manager. Okay. Just a recruiting fee, it can go around 7 to 10,000 euros to find the right person for your team. If I jump to the Gulf region, Saudi, Qatar, where they are around 30, 40, 50,000 US dollars for I'm talking only for like a front desk manager, fees around 6 to 12,000 US dollars. US, UK, somebody between 8 to 12,000, maybe British pounds. We're talking about it's a 2 or 3 months average salary, Mauricio. Besides all the emotional damage that I talk about. So training and onboarding costs a hotel typically about facts. We're talking about 10 to 20% of the position annually salary. And the productivity loss can take 3 to 6 months. Of course, when we're talking about independent hoteliers, it could be a fraction, but no less than €1,000.
In our research, it would be around €5,500 per employee.
Yeah.
If you think about like a hotelier that's just starting, then to get convinced, okay, like, all right, you guys are convincing me. Let's. What can I do now then? So
Bring it on.
what are like two simple and high impact steps that they can take right away to improve staff learning and retention?
Yeah. Oh God. Definitely, like I say, start small, be consistent, recognize learning publicly. I love to see hotels that is like a living classroom. That's never the same in a hotel today. Every check-in, every feedback, every guest interaction is just an opportunity to learn. So to build continued learning culture, that is, I have been approaching to that, leaders more to create a psychological safety space for our employees. They can ask a question, they can make mistakes, and they can try it again. So that's where for me, it's important to see it that way. Maybe it's a topic about innovation, but for me, that's how truly begins. But no, this is not about perfection. It's about curiosity, how we can approach into this kind of framework support for developing training in hotels.
And one thing that I've seen is when we talk about independent hotels is that they don't have a lot of structure for training, right?
Yeah.
So basically they hire someone and okay, come here and do the shift with this is Anna, do the shift with Anna, and she'll show you how it's done, right? And it's just it gets done like this. That's the onboarding process.
Like we call it the shadow, So then you have to pay to doing the same job until somebody's training on the spot and shadowing the person that is hired.
Yeah, so there is the cost of shadowing and the learning of shadowing because it's not consistent, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we're humans, and sometimes it's comfortable to start looking ways to cut corners. But for those hotels that are just starting building a learning culture, Mauricio, I can suggest again 2 simple steps. This is kind of high impact actions. One, start small, but be consistent. Just 10 minutes a day. Even during the daily briefing, you can transform a team culture in training. You can focus in one thing of training in 10 minutes per day. Second step, what I could say is recognize learning and how you can do that. The same way I always have taught my students that are about to finish bachelor degree or they are already in the master degree is the same way you celebrate achievements in public and you keep, any reclaims or any problems, then you keep it in the back of the house and personally. You have to recognize learning publicly and celebrate the efforts as much as the results. This is not only a change of behavior. It also will attract new talent who wants to grow in a place that the learning is valued. So that's how I think these 2 simple things can make a big high impact to small hotels.
So basically a change of mindset to understand the learning process, right?
Yes.
How hard it is to change mindsets?
It's, it's a everyday work, This is like at home, we are blessed to have our daughters. If you want to see my cooler, I have a paper that it says, in this house, we greet, we learn how to say thank you. But it's still, it's a process. And it's an ongoing working process. It's every day. That's what I'm saying. Start small, but be consistent. But that's the only way you will make it.
I need to make a parallel there because what you just said is so important here. And I want to bring to the business side as well, because having on your fridge the set of words that's educated. This is the values, right? What you're doing there, you are building your family values. And this is what leads everything that happens in your house. And in the hotel, in your business, it's the same. You should have the set of values that leads every single action inside the hotel. And that should be transparent. That should be knowledgeable. That everyone in the company should know what the values are and how to actually operationalize these values. Let's think about managers, supervisors that are listening to our chat. How can they personally become better trainers and mentors, even if the hotel doesn't have a formal training system for them?
Okay, then I will then talk about a commercial, about certifications. There is also, it has to be a personal commitment in order for you to continue growing. Sometimes the place that you are working, perhaps they are not offering you something that you feel that is sufficient for yourself. And that's why there is like the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute, that we have been for more than 100 years, as association, as the Institute has been for more than 70 years. Why? Because we are here to support any professional from the entry level. Speaking about supervisory, that is the question that you are asking at the moment. For supervisory, we have a great programs to development. And for those that they want to make the leap to go into management, that's why you have to embrace learning your own systems. And that's why we also have professional certifications that sometimes people don't really appreciate that this is just not another paper, like you say it, no? Like what we have been talking, no? This is just not another diploma. So this is meaningful, Mauricio. Why? Because certifications become a powerful when they are connected to a career path. And there is a personal choice when somebody wanted to take that embracement into knowledge. In our institute, for example, all the certifications entry level, you go through the program, you present your exam, but they don't even have an expiration date because those are PLIs, that is in basic information. But when we're talking about supervisory, then it's a totally changed thing. Why? Because then you have actually to apply to be part of this career path. First of all, you have to be in the position, you have to be a supervisor, you have to be a manager, you have to be a head of department, you have to even be the general manager if you want to achieve a professional certification as a certified hospitality administrator. And then those paths, then you have something to go through and you know it firsthand because that's what you are doing to become a certified hospitality trainer. You have to embrace the knowledge. Sometimes people take a year to embrace this knowledge, and then they have to face exam that is proctored. It's not like just any other exam. Have a minimum of 70% to pass, and then feel the glory of achieving a professional certification. Then after your name, you will be able to use those letters. In your case, it's going to be soon, CHT, Certified Hospitality Trainer, or, CHA, Certified Hospitality Administrator, as example. That really brings you an amazing path of achievement, a belonging, that you belong also to another family of professionals. But then that within 5 years, you have actually have an expiration date. And then what happens? You want to continue to have that certification updated, you need to present either an exam or you have to prove in a portfolio what you have achieved during that path as a supervisory. Most likely you already are a manager at that time when you have actually had this type of commitment in order to you continue growing and keep renewing your professional certifications to stay alive. Because this is not everything set in stone. we are evolving, we are developing, and we have to embrace this knowledge. And it has to come also from a personal side of us.
He needs to have that desire to become better as well.
Absolutely.
It's not sit down and wait or just complain that your company is not giving you what you want, but come from within as well and prove that you deserve it. And let's think about the future here and how things are changing, because today I know that you really love and support AI when it comes to the hotel industry and the operations. So giving more time for people to actually be humans there and talking to others. But when it comes to training, this is also changing so fast and is becoming so different. So what trends that you see shaping the future of hotel training and development?
Now we're talking. I know that you and me, we haven't spoke about this, and we were really honored to be selected to be part of the World Tourism Forum to speak about this. And for me, I can tell you, technology is just becoming our stronger ally. I know so much people that is so afraid about artificial intelligence, but I mean, I have been reading a lot. As you know, I'm trying to pursue a PhD education, and that is also connected with these topics. What I will be focused also is about micro learning. Nowadays, time it's very very important. It's very costly, and also how to make it funny, like adding some gamification. Helping this transformation where we can engage the learners when they already have the desire to grow, to give them the opportunity to have access to the technology, intelligence, micro leading, so a small bites. This is like I'm telling you, consistency, 10 minutes a day.
Duolingo.
Yeah, exactly. This is why this is working. But
Yeah.
the key is to make technology also human centered. And that's my flag at the moment, how we can call human centered artificial intelligence, because these tools that will amplify the human side of hospitality. And let me be once again clear, it's never going to replace it. It's not, because you just imagine a world where AI will help to identify learning gaps. That's how we can offer a real-time feedback. And that will help us to create a personalized learning journey, while the humans, we will focus on what we do the best. Smile, be, empathy, be creative, and give service. That's for me, that's how the future that we are building.
Mhm.
Way of helping people to support them to find their gaps of the knowledge so that we can help them to reinforce the training with this. And we just are launching last week the Certified Hospitality Administrator certification, and it's coming already with this type of technology. So when we can identify the gaps, offer real-time feedback, create a personalized learning journey, that will also help us to focus on what we do the best as humans.
That's so inspiring. If you could give one message to hoteliers about investing in their people.
I will say that to return on the investment is just not revenue. It is reputation, it's loyalty with joy as well. So when you develop people, you build kind of a hospitality that guests never will forget. But how you are going to achieve that is only when you are investing in your people. Because it's not only a good business, it's a moral choice. That's what I will say.
There's one thing that I like about the certification, that is, it's not only about return on investment, it's return on individual. And I love that sentence. Yamel, how can our audience get in touch with you, learn more about AHLEI, or get certified?
Thank you. We can share, of course, all our LinkedIn is our channel. So please just look for Yamel Henriksen. I'm always at your service. Reach out and I will be very happy to support you. As you know, we work worldwide. We work more than 104 countries. We are dividing between regions. We have one of my colleagues, our leader for the channel is at AHLEI, but then we have a Puerto Rican, the Caribbean, and then we have Danny Matista. He's the director for all India and Asia Pacific. We have Alan Wood, that he is in our office in the region of China. And I'm here at your service for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And just reach out and I will be able to navigate you wherever we can support you. If you are a hotelier, if you're in the restaurant, if you're in an academy, you're in university, and you are in high school, because now with the UN tourism, we're investing, we develop a new curriculum from high schoolers and vocational, because we need to support the pipeline of this learning all the way in an earlier stage of education. So please don't hesitate. If you really want to engage in learning, training, and development, we are very keen and very passionate to support you.
And let's not forget to send hello to Ed. Hi, Ed. I miss you.
I will talk to him, of course. I'm going to see him in a couple of weeks at The Hague because we're going to have the Eurofree. So this is the highest conference for educators worldwide in hospitality. And yeah, I've had the chance to work with him that week. So definitely I'm going to bring and we are looking forward to meet you in ITB Berlin for 2026.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition. Yeah, no, thank you so much. I'll, of course, put all the links there. Thank you so much for your time. I love the conversation as always. And I really hope, like you, that our industry gets it and turn into learning organizations, but most is like turning into respecting the human beings that they work with and give them what they need. That is knowledge. That's what we are here for. We're here to learn. And I hope that we learn that too.
Thank you, Mauricio. Thank you so much. Really, it's been a pleasure to share these thoughts, the passion on them, but I truly believe that the best is just to come from our industry. As long as we keep learning, adapting, and leading with a heart.
Amen. Schulerinos, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.